Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogian Monster here. Welcome to WTF Live. It is Thursday night. How's everybody doing tonight? See a bunch of people in chat. Good to see you guys. Um, yeah, how's your week going? I know it's almost the end of the week. My week just started. I ended up having to work today, which is kind of weird because I don't normally work on Thursdays. So my ass is a little dragging, but that's all right. We'll have some fun anyway. Um, let's see what we got here. Let's see. You guys scroll back and see who's in chat. Oh, damn. Can't follow that fast. So we got Ben, Paul, Josh, Joe. Hi, Sandra. Sandy. Who else? Big Rob. What's going on? Probably missing somebody. Murray. There you are. Cashew, what's happening? Good to see you. Who am I missing? Did I say hi to Sharon? I don't know. Well, hi, Sharon. All right, on. I'm glad to see everybody here tonight. We do have a guest tonight. Um, you guys know him. Carrie's actually going to be going to his house or to Florida soon or wherever. No, Arkansas, I think. Where the fuck? We'll find out. Hold on. What's up, brother?
Going on, man? It's Oklahoma. I'm in Oklahoma right now. I know it's
Oh,
hard to keep up with.
yeah, weren't
But
you in Arkansas or something?
yeah, we're moving to Arkansas. That's where we're originally from, and
Okay, right on.
in the process of moving back to Arkansas right now. So I'm in Oklahoma right now for Carrie and everybody to come tomorrow. So
Oh, is that when they're coming tomorrow?
yeah, they'll be here tomorrow by noon. And
Oh, right on, dude. Awesome.
I got some other people going to be here. My friend David Wilbanks from Bigfoot and More channel that's been out to my property several times and found evidence, and Miss D Sims from Lady in the Woods.
Lady in them? Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to
No,
be here
dude.
tomorrow
Right
also.
on.
Supposed to have a little campfire thing out there, and
Well, didn't you help her out when she got flooded out?
yeah, I went out to her
You
house.
went with the trailer and
Yeah,
right on, man.
yeah, yeah.
Well, good, man. You should have fun tomorrow. You should be excited about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I might not seen it, but I'm really excited about it. It's one of the few things that I've been looking forward to a lot here lately. And man, I went to the hospital yesterday and didn't get out to this morning. And man, I was just worried to death about something was going to interfere with with their trip. And but it seems like I got out this morning, so we're
Well,
still
by
on
the grace of
schedule.
God.
Yep. Carrie
No,
reached out
you
to me
got.
this morning. He wanted to make sure we were still a go. I said, man, I'm still a go. I'm still alive. We're still going to
That's
do it.
it. Right on, man.
Matter of fact, I still got the armband from the hospital last night. I still got it on my wrist. So, but
How you feeling, man?
man, I feel like shit. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie. It's been a long hard road, man. And to be honest with you, this stuff takes a toll on you, and
sure.
it's taking a toll on my family. And and it's finally just gotten to the point, man, where we just want to live a pretty big.
You you just froze up.
Oh, sorry, man. It's been storming here, so my internet might
No,
be.
no, no. It's okay. But I did see you mention that in chat. You said you wanted to live a pre Bigfoot life.
Yeah,
How
man.
you
I
wish you
mean,
could.
when we went down to Arkansas for about a week in October, and man, we had the fans in the windows. The windows were open at night, and man, I was like, I wasn't looking at the tree line.
Sure.
I wasn't even thinking about Bigfoot. And when I drive on my property in Oklahoma, it's like I'm activated. Man, I got to have the high beams on. I'm jumping out the truck, looking at the damn tree line, and you got to have all the windows closed and locked at night, and all the curtains drawn, and You got to make sure all the cameras are charged up and everything's armed and on, and just adds a
Wow.
level of anxiety, man. That you
Sure.
just, like I said, I'm activated when I come on this property. When I'm in Arkansas, I don't feel that, and
Well, you know where you
you
got to
know,
be then. That's good.
my wife finally. I'll be honest with you, my wife finally put her foot down, man, and she's like, had enough of it. This is it, because I'll be honest with you. I'll share something with you that I haven't shared with anyone else really. Maybe just a little bit in chat. We had a conversation with some people from the school because my son was talking about Bigfoot, And matter of fact, it happened the day after I went and helped Miss D. Sims. And I was supposed to go back and help her, and the school called and wanted to have a conversation with us. And, I went up there to talk to the school. And, I'll just give you a little piece of information how that conversation went. They said, we have a problem with your son talking about Bigfoot because he says that Bigfoot is watching him, and you shouldn't be telling your son that because using that as a scare tactic to control your kids. And I said, ma'am, you have no idea what you're even talking about. You have no idea what you're even talking about. I said, first thing, I ain't ever told my kids that Bigfoot's watching them. My kids come to me and told me that something was watching them.
Sure.
One son told me that a bear with a white face was watching him. The other son told me that there's a man that comes to my window. There's a man that lives in the woods that comes to my window at night and watches me while I sleep.
Hold on a second. Sorry.
And it was like I wasn't even talking to him. And I said, I know y'all don't understand. I said, but me and my son and my kids, we have an open dialogue about this. I said, we don't talk about Bigfoot like you better eat all your peas and all your vegetables or Bigfoot's gonna get you. I said, it's not like that. I said, we want them to be educated about the dangers of out there, what's inside the woods, no different than a cougar or a bear or anything else, or snakes. You want them educated. And I said, you might not talk openly about it because you ain't seen the things that we've seen. You haven't experienced the things that we have experienced. But it just went one ear out the other, and they just kept talking like uh, like there was something mental with me, and that I was trying to put something in my kid's head about Bigfoot, and that really changed the dynamic for us right
Yeah,
there.
well, they didn't realize that your kid was coming to you and you weren't trying to use it as a scare tactic.
And the only reason why I ever come forward with this was just because I felt like with things that I've seen and some of the knowledge that I've gained personally, that I should share that with people who live in rural areas who their kids might one day might have an experience,
Absolutely.
and they can fall back and maybe learn something from something that I shared, or even reach out to me and I could help them out. It was never, or it's never intended about being YouTube famous or no damn money or nothing like that. To be honest with you, man, I made like $134 since I've been doing this, and I promise you, I've been out a hell
It's
of a
more than
lot
I
more
made.
money. Been out a hell of a lot more money and time and shit and heartache and trouble
Hell yeah.
than what that money will ever.
Yeah, no, it's not cheap.
And but that was never the reason why I was doing it anyway. So
Sure.
you know, um,
For the awareness, and I think and that's admirable, and more people should do that.
and I just really, man, I'll be honest with you. I'm ready to just put this behind me. My message is out there. There's really nothing really more to add. I might catch some more footage and stuff, but really, is that going to change anything with the message that I've shared? No.
No.
I've shared enough evidence and enough with my message and stuff. If that doesn't convince people or plant a seed in their head, then what not more evidence that is going to do that. And it comes at a tremendous price to my family, you know, with the amount of time that it takes to watch camera stuff and go through footage and put that stuff together. And it's just at the point now to where it's really starting to, you know,
Take
starting to
its toll.
tough.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
imagine.
on my health, man, with you know, the level of anxiety and stuff, the stress, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when this stuff started last year, I was on no medications whatsoever. I can't tell you last time I was even on a prescription medication. I got three more new ones today to go along with the seven I already had. If you want to add
Wow.
Viagra, if you want to add Viagra, I got. That's another damn, prescription. I never had a problem before that. I'll blame my damn lip dick on Bigfoot too. Shit, I don't give a damn. You know, you know, I didn't have that problem before. I promise you. And they asked me a damn
Oh
questionnaire for that damn
shit.
shit that was like, there's shit going on in your life, this, that you feel like is out of your control. I'm like, I knew it was Bigfoot's fucking fault. But, hey, man, now, like I said, now I'm on 10 or 11 prescriptions, depending on how you count. And,
It's just sweet. It's weird, man. I mean, we can all say the same thing as Bigfoot changed my life. For you, it's for a negative. For me, it's positive because Bigfoot, just getting turned on to the subject and seeing all these videos and realizing what's going on out there, where as much as I can, and I'm fascinated, and I wouldn't be here right now talking to you if it wasn't for Bigfoot. It's strange.
It has its pros and it has its cons.
Yeah,
I've met a
but
lot.
we're in different boats.
Well, I tell you what changes everything. This would be a completely different deal for me if I didn't have my young children involved. You know,
Yeah,
but when it
yeah,
comes, one's 3 and one's 5, and the other one's 9. You got 3 young children, and if they weren't part of the equation, this would be a different type of situation. I would be far more interested and fascinated with the subject if it didn't involve my kids. But I be honest with you, I don't think they'd be coming around if it didn't involve my kids. They're not here for me. They started. This all started because
no, that's a good
they
possibility.
they showed themselves to the kids. All my kids had some type of experience
Wow.
where they were shown, where they shown themselves to my kids. You know, before. So you take the kids out of the equation, I don't think they ever would have ever even came around. To be honest with you,
No,
but
that's a good possibility.
you
That's
know, I've met a lot of good people through this, and
absolutely.
I've made friends through this. Well, be honest with you, I've been so focused on my family and my wife and stuff, and being here with my parents on this property that I've been here a couple of years and never really made many friends. But I met David Wilbanks. He's a researcher, and me and him become real friends, and several other people, Miss D. Sims, and other folks. And there's a lot of good people, man, that I truly believe are really care, really do pray for me and my family, and I appreciate every one of them.
Yeah, I'm. It's funny because the only time I pray is for other people, and I've prayed for a lot of people around. In the past 6 months that I've been on this show, or doing the live. And yeah, I've sent you prayers. I sent everybody prayers for just I want you guys to heal. you know, I wish I could help you on you're doing the right thing. Moving. That's
And I will
that's
say
important.
the Bigfoots have never been aggressive. I've been aggressive towards them. I mean, I've shot at them more times than I'm willing to admit. Or when they break my damn trees and I see the tree fall on camera, I'll go out there and I light that son of a bitch up. And I haven't done that in a long time. And I made a, you know, promise to myself that I was never going to do that until I saw an active sign of aggression towards me or one of the kids. And they've never slapped on the side of my house. And they seem to genuinely be just curious, just like people say. But something Kerry said to me that really stuck with me. He said, he goes, I believe that they're, just opportunists, that they might be just truly curious, but if they see the opportunity one day to be something else, they
So
might
yeah, don't
might
give them
seize
the
that
opportunity.
opportunity. And man, I tell you, you can't get that off your mind, and you can't truly be yourself and relax, and your kids being outside and going outside at night, especially. I got a shop outside, a two-bay shop that I do work on. I work on outboard motors and jet skis and things of that nature and ATVs out there. And man, I have just a high anxiety about going out to my shop after dark. Just walking from my house to that shop and being out there in that shop after dark. But man, it affects my work. And you just can't get that out of your mind. You can't go back to the way it was before you had
No.
knowledge of them. And the
Yeah,
only
but
way for
not.
me
I
to
mean,
really do that is to move.
that's what I was just gonna say. You're not gonna be able to do it where you're at, obviously. So yeah, um, yeah, man. I wish you the best of luck with that. The move and you know stepping back. I get that. It does take its toll.
Yeah,
Um,
I won't lie, it really has. And I tell you, my wife's been so good. Man, she's been so good about that stuff. She just doesn't really have paid it much attention, but uh, I knew that it was starting to really get to her. But she hardly ever talked about it. But man, I tell you, when that school stuff happened, she's like, man, I don't want to be known as the crazy Bigfoot family. Every time they got a parent teacher conference or something like that, um, we're up there and they're like whispering behind our back that we're the people putting Bigfoot in our kids' head and stuff like that. It really kind of changed the dynamic.
Sure.
I absolutely refuse to let this, you know, take any more toll on my family, especially my wife and what she's been through with this. And it's just one of those things that I probably should have done sooner, to be honest with you. But now we're entering the time. November 10th is when my son had his experience that really changed everything for me, where he come inside and said, "Dad, there's a bear outside. It has a white face and it was looking at me." I asked him how it walked. He said it's walking like me and you, Dad, and there was two of them. And that was on November 10th last year. So that's when everything started for us with this, Bigfoot experience. And
Sure.
now we're actually like a day, 2 days past that anniversary when everything started last year. So the anxiety starts to build with the worry
Sure.
that
It's
it's
kind
going
of
to be,
seasonal.
yeah, that it's going to be that much activity. Because I'm telling you what, by the time it was Christmas time, man, them jokers was in the yard every night after dark. And man, I'll be honest with you, I just don't even want to be here for it. And that's one of the things we're trying to hurry up and get moved because Christmas is coming up. We don't want to be moving any closer to Christmas than we have.
When's your move date?
Man, we got things packed right now and already been moved.
No, but I mean, like you have this thing going on this weekend with, or yeah, tomorrow
Well,
with Carrie and stuff. So
I'll
you
be
are you like next week that soon?
man, I'll be honest with you. Everything's already packed. Most of our stuff is already down in Arkansas.
Okay.
And we have some things left inside the house, but it's all packed up. I probably would have already had everything out, except I knew that I had to be here this weekend for the Bigfoot Odyssey thing that was
Sure.
coming up. And but once this is over with, there's no reason for me not to grab the rest of our stuff and go ahead and finish up the move. I mean, I don't have a deadline that I have to be out of the house. The house
Yeah.
belongs, it's on the property with my parents and stuff like that. But uh, you know, I don't want to drag it out too long. But
Hey, you're up for some questions?
sure,
All right. Let me. I just know there's some here.
no, the property still belongs to my parents. The actually, the house that's on their property is actually their guest house, and that's the house that we've been living in for close to 5 years because my dad had a stroke. We have somebody else that's going to move into my house that's going to help out around the property with the horses and the things that have to be done and such of that nature to kind of fill my role. And that's another deciding factor in us moving was having somebody to, that was trustworthy, that was family, that could step in and replace me here. Because I would never just leave my, my family in need of somebody out here to help out, because they're both the same.
And they're aware of what's going on.
Oh
People
yeah,
moving in.
oh yeah, they're family, man. I mean,
Okay. Well,
they
you
know.
know.
Yeah. I mean, be honest with you, the person that's moving in has already been staying here for a while,
Okay.
and they've had their own experiences and stuff, and some things tap on their window and things like that. So, they're fully aware of what's going on. They're here already, so we're just
So, BPD is asking, you still seeing UFOs?
I don't go outside and look. To be honest with you,
Hmm.
if I don't see, man, I tell you, I haven't been outside to really look. To be honest with you, I was just outside that one night. Just so happened when we was filming and saw something that square, light green, rectangular shaped something. It had a darker green aura around it. Went behind the trees and didn't come out. But I haven't been outside really to go out there and
Well,
look at.
that night that we were live, that happened.
Yeah, I tell you, man, that was crazy. It was light green. It was rectangular. It was flying, perfectly straight. It wasn't like had an arc like it was type of meteorite. It had a dark green aura around it, and it went behind these set of trees back here, and it didn't come out the other side. Kind of freaked me out.
So, Pabby wants to know, Mark, are you moving far enough away that the boogers won't bother you there?
Well, place I'm moving to is Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Yeah, there's not any boogers down there, but there is some crackheads. But there's a different kind of thing that runs around in your yard, not it digs through your garbage and runs through your shit. But I've kind of become accustomed to that already. That's why the first time I saw that first juvenile Bigfoot, it was so damn skinny, and his arms were so skinny. And you see the video with the shadow running in front of my flashlight. I was telling somebody else, I thought one of them Palm Bluff crackheads done followed me up here to Oklahoma and was out in the front yard for a minute. But yeah, well, we're moving there. You got to worry about a different kind of two-legged thing running through your yard at night. But it is what it is, man. I mean, it's where we're from. It's what we've known. It's where my wife has family at. It's where my oldest son lives at. So you know, people wonder why in the hell you moved back to Pine Bluff, man. But I mean, it's like home sweet home, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of the part of the Delta area where there's a lot of farmland, open farmland.
Sharon's asking is Mark's mom and dad moving also? But
No,
you already answered that. No.
they're gonna stay here. They're gonna stay here.
And then where did I see something else? Oh well, I guess we'll go back to Megan. This one's on me, but Megan Richardson asks these funny ass questions to
I know.
everybody.
I seen some of the ones she asked last night when Murray was on.
Okay, well,
I missed that show.
question. Hey Mogs, when you get lonely, do you ever put that sweet bandana on and dance tutu like Olivia Newton-John and play that sweet song, Let's Get Physical? P.S. I won't tell anybody. Holy shit. No, I don't. I prefer ABBA.
Y'all going way back, ain't you? Olivia Newton-John and Alvin. You got to be in your 40s to know what somebody's talking about with that stuff.
Right?
All the youngers don't know what you're talking
or from Australia. I think ABBA's like a national treasure down there. Oh, geez. Professor Orange Juice, what's going on, guys? Who else? Kathy, good to see you in here. Juanita, welcome. Hey, D. D Sims is in the house.
about.
Who am I missing? Aaron, what's going on? Oh, I'm glad to see all you guys here. Yeah, if you guys have questions for Mark, put them in caps and we'll get them up there.
Is Murray in the chat?
Murray is.
What's up, Murray? I'm sorry I missed your live show last night. I was at the hospital, but I watched it today, brother. Good to see you on camera. I've sent a lot of videos through Murray.
Yeah.
He said something about that. He said, "Man, I hope you didn't mind me saying anything." I said, "Man, I don't mind you saying anything about that. I just appreciate the time he spends looking through a lot of my stuff." He was real optimistic early on when he started following my channel, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of attracted me to him, because he was seriously look at it and be optimistic, but also give consideration to what I think I seen. And I got where I'm just sending him all kinds of videos for him to review and stuff like that.
And that's good to have somebody to shoot those through.
Yeah, and sometimes I would. He's seen a lot of stuff that I've never posted before, and he's got his little technique how he puts it on his TV with his binoculars and stuff like that. And
he says no worries, Mark.
He'll put it on his TV with his binoculars and stuff, and man, he notices all kind of stuff I've looked over before, and been a great help to me. He said, "Well, I email him all the time." He said, "I email him all the time."
I'd break my
TV. He says, "I email him all the time, but he only answers me back every once in a while," which is kind of true, but it's not because got a lot of things going on. Miss D Sims will tell you flat out. Miss D Sims all the time sends me something, and I rarely respond. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's not that I'm trying to be shady with people.
No, I get that. I get emails, and I try to, stay on top of them as much as possible. I think I do a pretty good job, but it gets overwhelming, and then trying to do comments on shows and just it's work, but it's it's not bad work. D says, "I'm glad you're out of the hospital and leaving, Mark. Safety is smart." Absolutely.
Tell you what, that woman there, I went to her old property that one day, and man, it was definite activity, man. They was out there whistling in the woods, and I mean, they kept whistling. It was It was repetitive, and you could tell it wasn't a bird or anything like that whistling. And she said they're watching. I was like, man, I believed it. I tell you what, it was obvious activity where she used to be at.
Yeah.
Something else that one day I was out there.
Yeah, that was a shame. you know, getting flooded out like that.
Yeah, I tell you,
And D, we helped how we could.
she
you
was
know.
she was very strong through all that. I tell you, she was stronger than I could have been for sure. It was when I actually went out there and seen just how bad it was and how high the water got and how much damage was actually done and how much stuff was ruined. It was really overwhelming.
Oh yeah, well I saw the videos,
Tell you,
from the when it was in the trailer. Aaron wants to know: is the family member that's staying bringing in more dogs?
man, they got more dogs over there right now than they even know what to do with already. Man, they're always bringing in these rescue. All of the dogs that they have are like rescue dogs and things like that. Uh, we picked one up at the bank one day and whatever. They got a whole house full now. You can't hardly walk through the damn door and get to the house with all the dogs they got. It looks like the Paw Patrol shows up every time you open up the door. They got all them dogs over there, so yeah, they got plenty of. We've only had the one dog come up missing. That was Sam, around December 13th last year, um, and the other dogs, they're all fine. So they're all my parents. They got a doggy door on the back. They can come in and out. But now they shut that doggy door down at night and don't allow them to be outside late at night like they used to be able to freely come and go. But
So D just said that there's activity there too, where she's at.
oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. She's in the woods out there. She's not too far from me. I mean, as a crow flies, man, she's real close to me now.
Right on.
Compared to where she was, and it was a good little drive, to get to where she was. But she was close to where there's really a lot of known activity where she was. But where she's from, living at right now, she's not, maybe 10 miles or so.
Oh, that's nothing.
She's not very far at all now where she'd be located.
Ben asks, "What is the worst thing about Bigfoot besides the people part?"
The worst thing about Bigfoot is not knowing their intentions. You just don't know. And trying to put your trust in what other people tell you, about if you're just curious or you need to be cautious or something like that. But the worst part about Bigfoot is just really not knowing what their intentions are. Um, it's the unknown. And, the all the other little minor stuff people talk about, the cloaking stuff, the mind reading, mind speak, all that other stuff. That stuff right there, I read about it and I listen about it because I want to be educated and I want to know what other people are experiencing in case something happens to me. But really, just not knowing what their intentions are.
The lack of trust. I mean, you can't, you know.
It's the persistence. Because man, at one time I had 19 game cameras just surrounding the property of my house, plus numerous security cameras. And even though I put those cameras out on December the 19th or 20th or 21st last year. I can't remember right now, but I know between December 21st and 26th was the most activity that I've had. And that was after we put all the cameras out in the woods. It didn't slow them down. It just changed how they approached my house. It was the
Hmm.
persistence. It's the persistence in not knowing their intentions is the worst part. Um, you just can't base and trust just fully what other people say. You can take it into consideration, but ultimately, you just don't have a clue
Sure.
what they're doing and why
Just want
they're.
to say goodnight, lady in the woods. D is leaving. Good night, D.
Love you, Miss D. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, she said see you tomorrow. I just wanted to see what this message was. Thought I turned the volume off, but apparently I didn't. There we go. So yeah, man, I still can't get over that Carrie's coming over tomorrow, and you guys are gonna,
It's
do
gonna be
your
great.
interview.
Brad has been following me since apparently since I started my channel close to it. And whenever I did my show over there at Bigfoot Odyssey the first time with the Late Show, that was when Brad first started doing the co-hosting with him, and he wanted to be on that show because I was going to be on there because he been following my channel. So for him to actually be coming, and this is like his first, you know,
Outing.
outing with Kerry to come out here and do this, I'm really excited about that. And we've got some things planned. Like I said, my friend David Wilbanks is coming, and David's been doing this stuff for a long time, and he's not big into doing interviews and doing podcasts and things like that. He's done a handful, but he was in Bigfootville as the main researcher in that documentary Bigfootville, and he was one of the two original BFRO investigators that got to see the casino footage where the Bigfoot was trying to
The
get.
dumpster.
Yeah, the grease. It was actually a grease trap. It wasn't a dumpster. And he'll tell you about that. People have turned it into a dumpster with them getting trash bag out and running, but that was not how the video went down. And man, I'm gonna tell you right now, David is straight up. He is the most credible. You just talk to this guy, man. You know he's just telling 100% truth.
Sure.
And I listened to a podcast where they interviewed the other two people involved in that, and it was exactly what David said it was. And he's going to talk about that. And he had, with that Bobby lady that accused the Patterson people with having that massacre and covering that massacre up.
Yes. Yes.
Well, he was having direct contact with that lady back in early 2000 when he was setting up his website, Southern Bigfoot, and they talked about the Patterson video in a lot of detail over the phone, and he shed some light on that, and people can say what they want, but he had direct contact with these people, and he's been in this stuff long enough that a lot of the people that have passed, the legendary researchers, as people call them now, he had direct contact with a lot of them. Even his family uh, had a veterinarian that was part of their family, and he was like a federal veterinarian for the state or something like that. But he had direct contact with Patterson before the Patterson Gimlin film was even shot in '67. He was talking to him previous years and was
Wow.
talking about going on an expedition with them as the to take care of the horses and things like that in case they did see or find a Bigfoot, and with his background, how it would be useful for him to be along. And that's how actually David got his interest in Bigfoot, was through this family member that was in direct contact with Patterson back then. And he's got a fascinating story, just like I said, just about that. I was actually on the phone with David when he had his first live sighting of a Sasquatch.
Really?
And, yeah, it was last year, and man, I was on the phone with him, and he was in the back of his truck down on his property and was filming and stuff, and he saw one standing in a trail. He thought it might have been something else. He said that it sidestepped into the woods, and man, he freaked out. He was talking to me, and there's something run behind his truck, and he said it sounded just like the bipedal footsteps that I put on my YouTube video that I recorded of the juvenile.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually on the phone with him when all that stuff happened. But anyway,
That's crazy.
he's a great dude, man. He's going to be out here tomorrow, and he's going to film with Kerry. I hope that they do a researcher's report with him, because he's never done anything like that before on video, and he's got been doing this stuff for 25 years. He's got a lot of
That's a long time.
yeah, he's got a lot of contact with a lot of different people, and seen like the casino footage and things like that. I think he got to make a really good research report.
Crave Dog asks, "What does your wife think of the Bigfoot coming to your property?"
Me and my
Well,
wife.
I think Crave Dog came in a little late, so
No, that's understand. Actually, I probably talk to my wife less about Bigfoot. Probably talk with people online and in chat and on my channel more about Bigfoot than my wife does. She doesn't ever bring it up. I think she purposely has kind of almost blocked it out. And she'll see me on my phone. She's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just on my YouTube thing or whatever." But she doesn't even realize the full scope of everything that's happened, because she's seen the shadow move on the shed. She know when I went outside, she threw the front door open for me that night that I had the AR-15 in the night vision scope and saw the juvenile standing behind the playhouse when I shot at it. She threw the front door open for me. So, I mean, she knows the damn things are real, but Sometimes, not too long ago, we was talking, and I showed it. We went back through some of the videos, and she's like, "Man, I forgot that even happened." Almost like she almost had like a mental block. But
Sure.
I had something pulled up on my laptop a couple months ago, and it shows that one standing behind the playhouse with his head bent down with the jungle gym bars behind his head, and she saw the video where I'm moving the flashlight and I actually illuminate him and he slowly closes his eyes. And it freaked her out really bad because she said, I didn't realize that the light source that lit up his eyes was you outside with a flashlight. I'm like, yeah, that was me outside with shining the flashlight is the reason why the camera picked him up because the night vision was turned off on the camera. That was me outside with a flashlight, the reason why he was illuminated and the camera caught him on camera.
Hmm.
And she never realized that. And that really freaked her out that I was outside and that close to a large one. And she never realized that it was illuminated because of me with the flashlight. And it kind of changed her from going outside once she saw that a little bit after dark. And there's just a lot of things about it that she really purposely hasn't paid attention to or really looked into. She hasn't really she really hasn't seen everything that all the evidence that I've gathered and captured. But I think she does that on purpose because you know,
Well, it's a defense mechanism, I guess.
yeah,
Like you said, she must have blocked some of it out.
yeah. You don't
Well,
want to.
Megan's got a question for you now. Hey, Livewire, do you think you will run into a six-toed inbred Sasquatch in Arkansas? Inbreeding seems to be rampant in Arkansas.
Yes, it does. I know it was back in the day. I ain't gonna lie. I learned to kiss by kissing my cousin. What am I talking about? So I got to be a good kisser with one of my cousins back in the day. That's how we did it in Arkansas back in the time. So I wouldn't doubt it if this Bigfoot does the same shit. So might be some six-toed Bigfoot down there, I guess.
Sorry.
I don't know if they come down that far down south where I'm at, but in northern Arkansas. That's
Bradley says hi. Bradley Hatcher.
Hey.
Hey, Bell. Who else came in? Oh, Crave Dog. Bud the Red. What's going on, big guy? Just looking for questions, dude. Sorry, I'm just caught up in chat. Yeah, so Bradley says he's looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him too. I really am.
Brad's cool. I like Brad.
I'm excited he's coming, really, with Carrie. So looking forward to it. It'll be cool. They're actually going to see all the stuff that's in the different videos and everything. They're actually going to see where all this stuff actually took place, and showing some stuff out in the woods where where I found footprints. This legendary for me, this leaning tree where there's been so much activity before. That's not too far from here, and the trees that have been broken over and laid on top of each other. All that stuff's still the same out there. Yeah, I'll go outside in the woods at night if Carrie's here. I've been out in the woods at night with David. One time we got kind of
But will Carrie go out in the woods?
No, but I guarantee
Just
you,
kidding.
me and David got to filming out here one night, and it got kind of dark on us, and we had to get out to the power line and walk up, and it was dark, for quite a while we were still recording, and as long as I'm with some other people, we're heavily armed,
Well, yeah, safety in numbers.
I'm not going out there with no bear spray or nothing. I gotta have something to drop the brass on the ground. But if I want to go,
Oops. Damn it. Every time I go to click on something, it scrolls by. Somebody please tell Mr. Lee 3PO to place a bandana on that luscious long red hair. That's from Megan. Let's see. don't see any more questions right now.
But I tell you, man, if you go out there in the woods at night, especially this time of year, you better be ready for some activity because, man, I tell you, as much activity has been here in my yard in close proximity to my house. If you're going to go out there in those woods at night at this time of year, you better be ready that something's going to happen. I cannot imagine going out there this time of year with things that have happened in such close proximity to my house, and you go out in those woods not far from my home and not have some type of activity. I just can't imagine. So if you want to go out there, you better be ready to actually probably have some type of an experience because, I mean, I know without a doubt, I know they're there. I mean,
Yeah.
I found the tracks and trees broken. I've heard the howling, man. You name
Oops.
it. It's happened. And the thing about it is, all the most evidence that I've gathered, like footprints and broken trees and the limbs being twisted, it ain't way out there in the woods. Most of that stuff you can see my home from where that stuff is happening, where the prints I found from the tree breaks, the limb twists. You can look and see my house. I mean, it's not far into the woods. But you don't have to go far into the woods probably to have some type of an experience, you know.
Sure.
Actually, when you go further off, deeper into the woods, you see less signs of it. All the major signs that people talk about that I believe are signs of their presence and activity are really in the woods, directly surrounding my home. My home's within is still in view of where most of the stuff is found in the woods. So you don't have to go far. You
Wow.
wouldn't have to go far into the woods for you know, probably have some type of experience right now.
Well, not this weekend. What's today? Thursday? Not this weekend. Next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be going out with some friends. Ryan Tremblay he was formerly on Venomous Fringe. Now he's got a podcast, Whisper to a Scream. He's coming up. And Mark Robbins, he was a guest on my show. They live not too far from each other down in southern Arizona, so they're going to come up on Friday. I just took the time off today, so we're going to go out and check out the whole Verde River system in the area and see what's out there.
Be careful what you wish for. You might just find it.
That's what I'm going for.
I hear you. I hear you.
I'll deal with it. If it scares the shit out of me, I guarantee it's going to, but I'm willing. Mr. Lee 3PO says, "Will you be going live?" Probably not, dude. Just because I don't think I'll have a signal out there. It's we're in the friggin' desert. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna base camp here at my house, and because where we're going is, one of the guys wants to get a hotel room. The original plan was to go camping, but it's a little chilly out. May still go camping. I don't know yet.
Got the dogs barking outside at something.
Oh, Duke's in chat. What's up, buddy? Hey, great show with Mark and Larry over there. That was awesome. At Sawdust Beast, Duke was a guest.
I tuned in for that too.
Yeah, that was a great show. I like those guys. Sharon just asked what? Let's see. Mark, does anyone in your town there talk about seeing Bigfoot or any other cryptids? Good
Being
question.
in East Oklahoma, I mean, Hanobi. Everybody knows about the siege of Hanobi. It's actually on the border of the county that I live in, Pushpataha County. So I mean, it's part of the culture here. I mean, people. I've never had anybody really come up and talk to me about it or mention it to me. But I mean, you just got to know that I'm not the only one.
Sure.
If you ever follow the Squatch team, their channel, where they talk about their cabin in Oklahoma where they have activity, their cabin where they have that activity is only about 5 to 6 miles as a crow flies from me. So they're right here in my neighborhood and have activity. And they've talked to me, reached out to me, on Facebook and Messenger. We've actually had a couple of telephone conversations and such. And matter of fact, they believe that some of the same ones that are visiting their cabin are some of the same part of the same clan that are visiting my property. Uh, but you know, I tell you, I mean, what surprised me when I talked to the deputy, and I heard the deputy talk to the sheriff. Uh, the deputy, had had knowledge of them and give me some advice and seemed to be truly concerned. And when he talked to the sheriff talked about it like he knew that they existed when he was on the phone with them and just wanted to know where, because he said, "Where you at?" "Well, I'm out on a trespassing call." He said, "Well, I'm out on one of them trespassing calls." And the sheriff knew exactly what he was talking about when he said one of them trespassing calls. And he just asked, "Well, where at?" Oh, and told him the name of my road I live on. And, you know, and we're very telling that this isn't their first time that they had somebody call about something like this. Um, and, you know, but like I said, I know some people at the VFW and I know some people at the volunteer fire department, and that's really about it. And Bigfoot subject has never really come up. And so, there might be more people around here that's had more experiences, but I just haven't, you know, I haven't met, but haven't had the opportunity to have a conversation with them because unless they see me on YouTube, I mean, I wouldn't know that they, had anything,
Sure.
experience happen, because I'm just not running around. I don't have any Bigfoot shirts like a lot of other people have, and say ask me about Bigfoot, or I don't bring it up in the grocery store or nothing like that. When I'm buying peanut butter, like Bigfoot loves
It's
peanut butter, loves peanut butter. It just don't come up.
Ed's got an interesting question. Mark, if they presented you with the clear shot before you left for Arkansas, would you take it?
Not unless there was a sign of aggression. Because I tell you what, man, if you shoot one, like that one guy, Siege of Kenobi, he said, if you shoot at one, you better chamber the next round because there's always one that you don't see. And what he said really stuck with me about how they tried to bait him into coming off the porch to try so they could ambush him from the side, he believed. And the way that he said that if there was one that you saw, there was always another one that you didn't see. And that time I didn't realize that they were in pairs like that, and that's how they travel.
Hmm.
Uh, so no, if I had just a clear shot at one, no, I wouldn't take it. And there would have to be a clear sign of aggression. And if they tried to bluff charge me, I'll be honest with you, it ain't a bluff to me. I'd unload a gun at this son bitch if he tried to bluff charge me or something like that. But I've never had anything like that happen. And they have pushed down trees when they get kind of aggravated. Uh, Sometimes when I say messing up their good time, they have plans to come slap on windows or look through the windows, and all of a sudden I'm outside with a gun. I've heard them push down trees. The morning of December 24th, when I caught the videos of them standing behind that leaning tree, that like convinced me that the adults were around and the different adults that I captured. I have footage from another camera that from that morning, and you hear them throwing rocks and it's hitting the top of my roof of my house. And there's nothing around my house that could land on the roof unless it was thrown because there's nothing around
Sure, no
at home.
acorns or anything like that.
Yeah, no trees, nothing like that. And you
Sure.
hear it hitting the roof of my house. Well, eventually, I guess they realize that isn't bringing us outside, and you hear a tree getting pushed down in the woods. And this is within 30 minutes of the other camera catches the horse moving and catches them behind the leaning tree. So it's all within the same proximity, the same time frame.
Sure.
So sometimes they push down trees trying to get my attention, and they've destroyed a lot of shit out here around my house. The trees.
They're gonna run out of trees.
I know. I mean, it does bother me, man. They tore up so much damn shit out here, and there's so many trees that's missing the top and just gone, just missing the tops. They're not on the ground. The tops are just gone, and it's especially up close to my house. It is unreal. There is 10 times more trees that don't have tops than the ones that even have tops left. I mean, majority of the ones there's no tops. And
Wow.
you can blame some of that shit on storm damage, but the fact is where the tops go. A lot of the tops aren't on the ground. It's like they carry the damn things off. And I
How
got kind
far?
of
Like when you say the top of the tree, like how much of the tree? I mean, you're like, where is it snapped off? 8 feet up, and then you're dealing with 10 foot tops, or
man, it just depends. I've seen them broke off 6 foot. There was a tree that branched into a Y and about 6 foot up, broke up. Both of them were broke off smooth, and both tops were gone. And then there's some of these are bigger, round, larger trees. Some of them are broke. 3 or 4 foot off the ground. I mean, some of them are fresh green live
And they're
trees. I
not
mean, they're,
there.
they're
That's
not
that's
they're
what's
not
weird
dead,
is they're not
and
there.
and and a lot of the tops are gone. I was out there the other day and I was looking and filming, and man, you just look, and some of them are broke off up high, but the tops ain't there. There's no tops, and I don't understand it, man. And I remember hearing shit, a lot of stuff breaking stuff, and I've got a lot of it on camera. You hear stuff snapping and breaking, but at the time I didn't. I had no knowledge of this subject. I didn't know if that was a typical Bigfoot behavior.
Sure.
And somebody asked me, they said, "Man, you have a bad storm come through here, but it's only right here in the woods that are closest to my home. That's it. The
Yeah, it's
woods that are
funny. I
close to
was
my house."
I was out hunting with my dad one time a couple of years back, and we were up near Flagstaff, and we're going through the woods, and we came upon this section of woods that it was hit by a tornado. It was it touched down and briefly, but all the trees were 15 feet up, broken right off, gone. And it was just, that reminded me of it, seeing that. I know what that looks like in the woods, but the tops were there. Um,
And what gets me is sometimes it'll be in the woods where it's surrounded by larger trees, and it's the smaller stuff on in there that's all snapped and broke in different directions, but the trees around it are fine. And how did it get, if it's a storm, how did it
yeah,
get
no,
down
that's
there
not
and break
storm
small
damage.
stuff and not damage the trees that's around it? And that's all within close proximity to my house. You can stand there at where these trees, it's either the trees that are closest to my house are directly there behind it. You can see my house and my parents' house from where all those trees are broke. And you go further in the woods, you just don't see it. It's
That's
all
weird.
around close to the house. And you know, Does I won't lie, that shit does piss me off. There was one time, it was December the 20th. My kids were back here from we moved them to Arkansas when this stuff got real hectic, and they come back for the weekend. And December 19th, I realized there was another black Sasquatch behind that leaning tree. Uh, that same morning, uh, I brought the kids back, and or the next morning after I brought the kids back. Well, that next day I was watching that camera, and I saw a tree being pushed over. It come out of the woods. The tree did. The top of the tree come out of the woods, and man, I heard it snapping and a popping, and I knew what it was because I just seen the damn Sasquatch on video the day before. And man, I ain't gonna lie, I went out there and man, I dropped two 30 round clips out of my AR-15 right there where that tree fell. Pom, 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 pom. Drop that clip, put another one right back in, and emptied that joker straight out. It looked like, man, limbs were falling, leaves was flying everywhere, and all that other shit. But man, I was pissed because
Sure.
I had to move my kids because of this stuff. I finally talked to my wife. We'll come back for the weekend. There ain't been no activity. Let's see what happens. And then this what happens. And I got to tell my wife that they're still coming around. And then I see them breaking over damn more trees, man. It kind of pissed, man. And
Yeah, enough's enough.
tearing up the damn property and shit like that. But that's the only thing that they've ever done. I don't think they do that as an act of aggression. I think that they do that to get our attention to try to get us to come outside because they're out there waiting. And they're like, damn, man, it's like 10, 11 o'clock. These some bitches ain't come outside yet, you know? Like, what they doing? They're sleeping all damn day. And they're like, well, damn, throwing rocks ain't working. Let's break some damn trees over and see if that works. I mean, and they're just trying to get us to come outside. And they're like, because we're just Sundays, I guess, man. We're just sleeping in, man. We ain't going outside. Kids been up all night playing PlayStation and shit. And they're like sitting out there waiting on us to come outside. And they're like, now it's like 11 o'clock and they still ain't out here. And that's when they start breaking damn trees, I guess, because they get tired of waiting.
So I did want to say hi. Kerry stopped in. So what's up to him? And I did just see a question. Where the hell did it go? Megan. Mogs, does Kerry from Bigfoot Odyssey drive a Toyota Prius on his Sasquatch expeditions? I have no idea. If I was him, I would drive an Expedition. I know that was stupid.
I drive an Expedition.
Ben says, you saw them on your cameras?
Me? Oh, yeah. I've seen them several times on camera. Seen them with my own two eyes.
I see someone saying thank you, moderators. Hope everything's alright in chat. I trust it is. I trust my moderators. Wonder Woman, what do you got here? Do you think the tree breaks could be a claiming territory?
I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about that, but you know, to me, it's all speculation. I mean, and I listen to what other people say, and I try to take all that stuff in, but you know, until really somebody does a real study and know, and I don't know. I mean, it's just all speculation. I just know that there's, they've hit my roof with some rocks before, but they've never slapped on the side of my house and never, you know, really done anything like that to really try to scare us. But they have thrown rocks on the top of the house, and I believe they do that. They don't do it in the middle of the night. They've done it during the day, and I believe that the days that I've caught them throwing rocks on top of the house was days that we really ain't been outside that morning, like a weekend or something, and the kids stayed up late, and that they're just trying to get somebody's attention.
So Ben says, I thought they avoided cameras. Well, explain to Ben how many cameras you have.
Well, they do avoid cameras, but sometimes they do get caught. I mean, I keep my infrared lights turned off on my cameras so I can listen, because it's not about capturing video. It's about me being aware that they're there. So if I can turn the infrared lights off and listen, and then I can hear them coming, which I have, then I'll go outside with a flashlight and turn the camera recording on and try to see what was going on. That's how I've caught stuff on video before, was the cameras be recording with the infrared lights turned off, and then they get illuminated by the flashlight. Matter of fact, the one that's behind the playhouse that I caught that was like that, the shadow that moved across, the one that moved in front of my flashlight that cast its shadow on the horse shed, the one that was crouched by the corner post of behind the playhouse, that was a juvenile that I panned right over with the flashlight. All that stuff was caught because the infrared light.
I just watched that one too.
And I illuminated them with the flashlight. So I mean, and plus having the ability to have wireless cameras that are only 3.7 volts, the same as a cell phone. They're low power. They sit dormant until they're triggered. Then they connect with the main hub and start recording. And the ability to move and relocate those cameras almost on a daily basis, it makes them harder to track where I'm putting all those cameras. I'm about to swing my kid, and I'll just pick a camera up and move it over 10 foot. And man, if they don't see that, they probably don't know that camera's there. And because the location of the cameras are always changing, you do catch them off guard. And most of the stuff that I've caught is usually when a camera was just placed in a new location, and it's the first night of it being in that new location, like the mist that come around the pool that left the way that it did, same way that it came. That camera was just placed there right before dark, and it changed.
So Yancey Scott wants to know how many total Sasquatch in your area.
From what I've caught the evidence of a large alpha male, which I call Captain Morgan. There's a female with a white face, as my son described. I've got her on video. And there seems to be another large young adult that's not as big as Captain Morgan. He's black also. And then I've seen evidence of two different juveniles. One of them's a female for sure, because I caught her. You can see small breasts on her, on the shadow on the shed. And there's another video that I never even put up. When I go outside with a flashlight, she's standing behind the playhouse, and her lower torso is projected onto the horse shed, just like her upper torso was in the video that I did release. She's definite female. So there's been 5.
And what was the light source? That was you with a flashlight?
Me with a flashlight. Okay. Almost all those videos that have the most profound amount of evidence was all me illuminated with my flashlight with the infrared lights turned off on the camera. And so there's been 5. Like I said, a mom and a daddy, an older, younger one. I don't think he's full grown yet. And then the 2 young juveniles.
So Marla Chapman wants to know, did your parents experience anything?
They didn't for a long time. In March, I went to Arkansas for a week, and this was right before I moved my family back. I moved them back because the coronavirus broke out in Pine Bluff real bad, and up here where I live, at the coronavirus is still almost negative. We got like 100 something people in our county. Coronavirus, that's it. It's nothing like other parts of the country. But while I was gone that week, I guess they were Bigfoot come up. They were bored and they wanted something to do, and there was something spooking the horses out here where my aunt was staying inside the camper on the property, to the point where it spooked her bad enough that my mom come over here with a gun and got her, and she's never stayed another night in that camper since then. And the my mother, while I was gone that week, actually heard the whistle chatter talk that I heard a year and a half ago outside her bedroom in a blind spot where the cameras couldn't catch. And she said she heard it as plain as day. And that's one of the only times that I've seen my mother truly freaked out. Because I'm showing her videos and stuff. She knows they're real. And she's seen the evidence, but it was different when she had an experience herself. That's the only, when I
Sure.
returned back from Arkansas, that's the only time I heard her say, "We're selling this place. We're getting the hell out of here." And I've never found any Bigfoot hair, but I don't
Lair,
look. A layer? I, no.
bedding, anything where they live, where they sleep.
We did find a possible bedding area, David and I did, but it's just speculation that it was a
Sure.
bedding area. I couldn't be 100% sure to say it was a bedding area. We did film it, record it, went back and looked at it again. But
Thanks for the question, Jenny.
I'll be honest with you, when David and I go out, him and I make a good pair because he's always looking for tracks, and he always finds the tracks and the evidence and the bedding area and stuff. Me, I'm looking for what's actually out there live right now that could be watching me. I'm looking into the trees. I'm looking for them. He's looking for evidence. So, it make a good pair when we go out and do that.
And Ben wants to know, what do they sound like?
Sounds just like you hear on the YouTube channels. When you hear them howling, I mean, it is so massive, long, and loud, and it sets off all the dogs around here. I've recorded that, and it just sounds just like the intro to like Sasquatch Chronicles that you hear. Oh, it sounds just like what you see on some of the YouTube channels. And before I was aware of Sasquatch, one night, 2 o'clock in the morning, my kids were up playing PlayStation. I was laying in the bed, and I heard this whistle chatter that was coming from the woods right outside my bedroom window. And it made me sit up, and I heard the dog start howling next door at my parents' house. And then I heard it again while I was sitting up, and I knew that it wasn't nothing I was imagining. And that's what my mother also heard outside her bedroom window. It really freaked her out. And we had my aunt. She was getting kind of curious about this Bigfoot stuff, and I found out she was leaving apples out there by the fence line for them. And I told her, I said, and I realized that one day when I was mowing, I seen the apple sitting upright, stem up, and everything, fresh apple sitting by the fence. And I went in there and asked her what she'd been doing. She said, "Well, I've been leaving apples." She said, "I threw that apple out there because it was rotten." I said, "That apple ain't rotten." And she didn't want to
Nice
tell me.
try.
And she's like, well, a couple of nights later, when I come back from Arkansas, when I've been gone, she done moved over into the house and out of the camper, right? Because the horses were acting all freaked out and weird right behind the camper. So she moved into this empty bedroom over at my parents' house. Well, that bedroom window is in a blind spot from the camera. You got a camera coming down one side of the house and another camera on the porch that's pointing down the driveway. But if you walk directly up to that bedroom window, it's in a blind spot where the cameras can't see you. Well, something come up to that window the first night she was over there and tapped on the side of the window 4 times. Right, she said, I went to the bathroom, I come back, and I turned the bedroom lights off. And within moments later of me laying down in the bed, I heard those 4 taps on the window. She said it's very distinctive. I said, well, what do you expect? You out there leaving apples? That's like sending Bigfoot a friend
It's
request on Facebook. I said, you
putting
send
an
him a friend,
invitation out there.
you send him a friend request. I said, of course they're gonna come tap on your window. You leaving them apples? They know who's leaving that stuff.
Ben asked, did the chatter sound like the Sierra sounds?
Somewhat like that. Not exactly like that. It wasn't none of that stuff in there. It sounded more like samurai talk, but it wasn't as intense as the samurai sounds the Sierra sounds as they call it. It wasn't that intense. But before the the samurai type channel, there was a very melodic whistle that I dare anybody try to recreate. It was so melodic that I've never heard any kind of whistle like that before. Then the chatter happened. Uh, and like I said, it happened twice. I heard it both times. Second time I was sitting up in the bed. I know I can blame the first time as I would imagine it because I was half-assed asleep.
Sure.
Second time I was sitting up in the bed. So I mean, but yeah, it sounded somewhat like the Sierra sound, but it wasn't that intense. It wasn't that intense as what they recorded. It was like they were talking just right there between themselves and wasn't meant to be heard by somebody
Sure.
in the house, you know.
Let's see.
And I've only heard that one time. I've never heard that again. I wish I could have heard it again since then, but now all the activity that I've had since then, all the damn footage that I've recorded, and all the stuff that I've witnessed, I've only heard that one time. I've never heard that again.
Okay.
I, I've caught howls and things like that on recording, but the the chatter sound I've only heard that one time, and that was with my own 2 ears and not on camera, and I only heard it that one time.
Realize this is such a great chat here. No inappropriate comments into our rude remarks about Bigfoot. No, we kind of respect each other around here, and in most of these groups channels, we definitely respect each other. It gets out of hand sometimes. People have difference of opinions, but that's the way it is.
Bigfoot ain't gonna be offended if you talk shit
No,
about the
not at
chomo.
all.
Believe me. People got mad when I first started posting stuff. I said Bigfoot's a chomo. And they're like, "What's a chomo mean?" I said, "Man, he's a child molester." And people's like, "Oh, he called Bigfoot a child molester. Called him a chomo." They get. I said, "Believe you me." I said, "You're more offended than Bigfoot is. I promise you. Bigfoot don't give a damn that I called his ass a chomo. You're more bothered by it than he is. I promise you."
So
People,
Yancey says some say Native American sounding. So
well, that's what I've heard. But the one time that I heard that vocalization that was right seemed to be right in the edge of the woods right outside my bedroom was more like the samurai chatter. It wasn't Native American talk. I've heard that too, and I've heard other people try to speak Native American to them and things of that nature. But like I said, I've only heard that one time, and never heard it repeated or anything
see,
like
I
that.
thought about that too. Like depending where you are, whatever the native language is, like around here, like up towards Flag, you get more Navajo, or here you'd get Apache in town here. I often wondered, like depending on the area, if you did try to speak to them in a native tongue, would it? You think they'd understand? You know,
Some people say they can understand you just talking to them. You
in
know,
English.
people have told me to try that. I've tried that. I went out there and talking to the woods, talked through the camera because the camera's got microphone and speakers on it and everything. And man, I want to tell you right now, none of that stuff worked for me. And I don't know if they weren't there that day or weren't listening or just didn't give a shit. But I tried it several different times based off people's suggestions, and it never worked for me. Uh, so I don't know if they understood me or not, or but other folks say that to do that, and other people have said that it's worked for them. Uh, when you tell them that you know not welcome here, they're scared of so and so, blah blah blah.
Sure.
It is different for me. Shooting at them didn't work for me. Putting up wasn't till I started buying these infrared lights that illuminated the entire yard at night that they actually seem to start staying out of the yard. But they haven't completely stayed out of the yard, but I've got more success with that than anything. But they seem to know that I'm the one that really watches and aware for them because there was a time we had a little cookout outside with some s'mores with the kids and my wife, and as soon as I went inside just to get a flashlight and a gun just in case, I was gone for 2 minutes. My wife said she heard walking in the woods, stepping on limbs in two different locations. As soon as I went inside,
At
I
the
come
same
out.
time.
Yeah, I come outside, nothing. I mean, so they know when like, okay, that his ass is gone. Now we can move forward a little bit, get a little closer. And they know that I'm the one that they have to be weary of, and that they can move whenever I'm not around. So, I mean, I firmly believe that they know that I'm the aggressor of the bunch, that I'm the one that's that's on the lookout for them.
Sure. I'm gonna send a link out real quick.
Yeah, because my phone's about to die. I don't have very much charge. We're out here in the country that my house Wi-Fi internet my cameras are on. If I try to connect on there, it'd be such a lag and such a delay in that I have to use my cell phone internet to
Well,
do this.
Ben, I just sent a link out to Ben. Ben's always got questions. So he said he wanted to come on. So if you got a minute or two, because it's not going to be a late night. Like I said, I work today. I got to be up early tomorrow. I'm up at 5. There. Oh, Mike, where'd you come from, buddy?
Said I'll hang in there till about the phone goes dead. But
Yeah, man. Hey, Mike, can you hear me this time?
I'm hearing you loud and clear, bro.
About time. Fuck.
Sorry. Hello, everybody. Hey, Mark.
hey, what's up, Mike?
It's my pleasure to join y'all. I've been run through the ringer all day long. Excuse me if I can't get the camera straight. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you reach out to help somebody and they keep dragging you underwater, and I'm just trying to keep myself from drowning tonight. But I'm here on the banks and on the shore. I made it. I didn't drown.
Right on, man. I'm glad you're here. Glad you can hear me this time.
I can hear you loud and clear, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in my bedroom tonight.
No, you know what? And also, when before Mark and I went on, there were some issues with him not being able to hear me, and I adjusted my microphone. It came in better, so maybe that was it. Damn, I was just gonna bring Ben on, and he bounced.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I was listening, when I could pop in, I had some difficulty hearing Mark. He was a real low, but I know he talks real soft, man. He's a soft spoken gentleman. Yeah, but yeah, man. Three's a crowd, and 4 is even more, man. Let's get it on.
Yeah, Ben was there, and then I didn't click him on fast enough, but he'll come back in, I'm sure. If he's listening, Ben, you can come back on, dude. I just didn't click fast enough.
Brother, I was trying to cook
pushing the wrong
fajitas.
button.
Listen, I was trying to cook fajitas, babysit, trying to rustle up another cowboy, a friend of mine who was out there and trying to get home. His car broke down, and well, his car didn't break down. He couldn't get the damn ignition to turn over. So yeah, so it's been pretty crazy. And my wife, my old lady, she's something else, man. That's a whole different show.
Right, hey, what's up, Ben?
Hey, how y'all doing, fellas?
Hello.
Hey.
Good to see everybody. I know there's some a little bit of summer mood, man, but we got to remember, man, that we're all people. We have people problems, and we have issues, and it's all about taking care of each other one by one, man.
You're right, Mike.
Take care of each other, man, because that's all we have. You know what I mean? I do my best to reach out and help others, and the people that have a harder time than I do. And it takes time, it takes my time up, but I do the best I can do for other people, man. And
well, right on.
I always receive the blessing 10 times over,
Amen to that.
Yeah, I do, man. I do. And I want to just say hello to everybody. I got the ladies I got a whole bunch of roses for everybody out there. I can't show them to you because I didn't bring them in the bedroom. I got in the bedroom to get away from all the favors that are probably expected of me. But yeah, I needed to reach out to everybody here and just say hello. And I'm just glad to be a part of this whole scene. And I appreciate every one of y'all for ever giving me the time, the time that it takes.
Yeah, man, it's great that you and
for a long time.
Yeah. It's
I'm
great that you and
appreciative
Mo
of it.
can finally hook up, man.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I guess it might have been just the connection that we had yesterday or the
Yeah,
on
probably.
Tuesday,
Yeah,
but
but I'm glad it's working, dude. This is good. I'm glad you came back on.
I'm
It's good to see you,
I'm
brother.
just, man, it was just trying to put everything in a row. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's like
I knew you were on, and I knew you were coming on, and I was trying to get everything just in order as through the day. But sometimes it's good to help somebody. It feels good
no,
to help
absolutely,
somebody
man.
else. And
No, pay
so,
it forward. It's I'm about that too. I'm always helping someone.
man,
Um,
I try to do my part. And I can. When I can. And
Monday I took the bus to work and got there and I stopped at the store first. I bought a banana and an apple and two hard boiled eggs. Put them in, they were in a bag. I put them in my backpack. Got to work and find out I wasn't supposed to work. Okay, I turned right around, got back on the same bus, booked it home. But then when we got to town, no, actually there was a guy got on the bus with a dog, and the dog looked like my dog. And I started talking to him, and he mentioned something to the bus driver about being hungry or not having eaten yet in a couple days. And I didn't even think, dude. I just opened up my backpack and handed him the bag. I was like, dude, there's an apple, banana, and some eggs in there. He goes, what am I going to do with eggs? I said, they're cooked, dude. He's like, oh, okay. But it was like, okay, well, I bought it for lunch, but I wasn't going to work. So I just, handed it to him. It's just
that's a light bulb moment. That's when you got to jump on and don't hesitate. Use that inner voice, that inner feeling in your heart that says, open the door for that person or reach out and, say hello or wave to somebody and say hello to somebody. It could change the whole
Absolutely.
day.
Absolutely.
That's what I've come to realize, man, after the many mistakes that, I've made in my past is we all we have is each other, man. And we're here for each other to learn and to bounce off of each other, whether it's, a negative comment. You might take it as a negative thing, but it could turn into a positive thing.
Absolutely.
The battery, it derives from the plus and the negative. It can't be a battery without each. So that's what it's all about, man. Working with each other and trying to understand each other and holding this camera still right here.
So Ben, you got any questions?
Yeah, I had a bunch of questions, man, but I think like Livewire pretty much answered some. So I mean, I will bow out if you got some stuff to talk about with Mike for sure.
No, dude, you're here, man. Hang out.
Okay. Well,
You're always welcome, man.
Yeah, don't bow out.
I know Mark's phone is on the verge of shitting the bed.
Yeah,
so Mark,
I've got like 6% left. I can't plug my charger in because I got my headphones plugged into my charger port. So
Okay.
that's why I can't just put it on charge. But anyway,
Mark, do you associate in your mind Bigfoot with UFOs?
you know,
But you have seen them both.
yeah. Matter of fact, at the peak of my Bigfoot activity last year at Christmas time, the absolute most activity days was December 24th, 25th, and 26th of last year. And then that was when I caught this weird light anomaly come down towards the camera and leave straight vertical. And
Wow.
I was actually aware of UFO activity before I was of the Bigfoot, and noticed some weird things in the sky. One morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I was taking my son to the emergency room, and I then pulled the truck around, and I was loading him up in his car seat. For some reason, I just looked up. Can't tell you why. But something just flew across the entire horizon. It looked like almost like an acorn, kind of like the Flight of the Navigator. If you remember that movie from the '80s.
Yes, I do. I do. I do.
It was shaped like that. It was no lights. If it wasn't for a moonlit night, I never would have saw it. But it made no sound. It had no lights. Flew right overhead, and it was booking. really wasn't scared because I didn't see no brake lights. It didn't hit the brakes when it saw me, so it just kept going. So,
Yeah.
but I was aware of that before I was of the Bigfoot. Uh,
How was
then,
that the first time you've seen UFOs, or have you seen
no,
them before?
no, I had seen UFOs. Especially since I've been here in Oklahoma, I had seen UFOs in the prior years. I've only been aware of Bigfoot since November 10th, 2019.
Oh,
I've seen UFOs in the previous years before that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and
Okay.
some of that stuff I could try to explain away, but there are about three different sightings that I could see that I couldn't find any type of rational explanation for.
Yeah.
And uh, there was one that was a bright light over here in the sky, and I was walking from across the yard late at one night, and I looked over and I said, "That's not supposed to be there," and it immediately dimmed out and faded away out from sight.
Wow. Okay.
And it was almost like it reacted to my voice. But I looked up on the internet, and it could be some type of satellite turning in orbit. They say that reflects off their panels, and then it can be reflecting no longer in my direction. There was a rational explanation for it, but it seemed weird that it seemed to react to my voice. But yeah, I was seeing that stuff before I was ever aware of Sasquatch in the last year. Kind of
Wow.
changed everything because I used to walk outside at night and look at the sky. Now I walk outside and look at the tree line, then I look at the sky. But it just seemed really weird that there was that obvious UFO activity last year at the same time there was Bigfoot activity. And another thing that really caught my attention was a lot of time before activity would happen, or I would hear something or see something on camera, I would see a flash of light, sometimes in the sky.
Hmm.
But when the mist come around the swimming pool, if you watch that whole video, there's a flash of light in the sky, almost like a camera flash going off,
Mm-hmm.
not like a plane or nothing. And then the minute that thing comes around the pool, and there's another video where I've got activity behind the playhouse. You see two flashes of light in the sky real fast. Then the activity behind my playhouse happens, and I don't know what that is, but there always seems to be some type of flash of light. Well, after that one UFO video that I have on my YouTube where it comes down, stops outside of camera range, and then seems to leave vertically. If you
Mm-hmm.
watch the full video of that, not the shortened version that I put out, there's a full video on there. You'll see a flash of light go off inside the woods after that thing leaves.
Wow.
And I don't know what that stuff means, but
I've heard of that too.
you
The
see the
first,
flash.
that was the first sighting. It was sounds like the same thing. It was just a big bright light in the sky, not very far off the horizon. I mean, 40, 45 degrees at an angle up in the air, and it only seemed about 75 yards away. And it was just all of a sudden there, and me and my buddy were looking at it. We had lit a cigarette. By the time we looked back down, the thing was gone, and we went to go take another drag off the cigarette, and we were holding the filters of a cigarette butt. That was it. And I can't explain how that happened. It
That's
seemed
pretty
like
strange.
it took about a minute, but
Wow.
you
That's
look
pretty
down and
strange.
we're both holding cigarette butts, and we're wondering, what was that, and it was like there was no explanation for it, man.
Yeah.
It was just the oddest, creepiest, weirdest, and we knew then that, this was a UFO. And from there, that was 1999. I remember because he was at my place because the Spurs won the championship, the basketball championship, and I knew how to time it because of that and to date it back then. But
Yeah.
guys, I've had four that I can't explain, but I live in a military city. But the things that I've seen, there's just no explanation to them. I know they're around, and I saw a pill-shaped object in 2005 or 6, and I called it a pill-shaped object. Maybe 10 or so years before the Navy came out with their,
Tic Tac UFO.
yeah, they were calling it a Tic Tac object, and I couldn't believe they're calling it a Tic Tac object because I called it a Tic Tac object in 2005 or 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we're not stupid and we're not crazy, guys. We're observers. We see it, and it's there's nothing to compare it to. And that's the hardest thing about it, is trying to rationalize, what the hell did I just see?
Yeah.
It doesn't fit, man. It doesn't fit. Just like the huge triangle. I'm not trying to like take over the moment, but the triangle that I saw, it wasn't a TR3B, man. This thing was at least football field long on each side.
Wow.
And that's 300 feet on each side of the triangle. It was a perfect triangle. And it had to have been, in my guesstimation, between 5 and 10 stories, and I'm leaning at least 80 feet.
Gotta go.
At
guys.
least 80 feet thick.
Mark, thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon, man. Best of luck tomorrow, brother. Enjoy.
Hey, Livewire, have a good time, buddy.
Good night.
Enjoy your time.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up there in the sky, and you know the reports are just consistent.
Yeah, they are very consistent.
Want to
They're
say
just
goodnight to
consistent, man.
Sawdust Beast is leaving. I just want to say goodnight. Mark, take care. Go ahead.
Hey,
guys.
Consistent, and that's the whole part. That's the whole part. You know, it's, you know, if you have the same type of characteristics and the same type of details, then there's some stuff out there that we're not being told about for sure.
yeah,
There's
absolutely.
a ton of shit out there we're not being told about.
Absolutely.
And it
Hey,
sucks. Man. It sucks because there's no answers. You know, people want answers.
Yeah, but, you know, we're not going to get them. Not right now.
Right.
Stuff's
I
being
agree.
hidden from us for some reason.
Yeah.
What you said, Mogs? I'm sorry, man.
No, I don't. Some things I don't look for answers. UFOs, don't give a shit about. You know, I know they're there. My dad's seen them. I trust him. They're there. Ghosts, seen them. You know,
Yep.
Bigfoot haven't. So I want to find out for myself. So I'm going to put myself in a position to find out. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, that's the only way I know to answer that mystery. is
You're
figure it
going,
out for myself.
You going squatching on the rim?
No, it's local. It's here in town. From my house, we'll probably start maybe a mile from here and then just maybe work our way out to up to 15, 20 miles away. I don't know.
Okay.
But,
You in a desert part of Arizona? Or
It's a high desert. It's I'm 15 miles away from Sedona, Arizona,
Okay.
which is known for the Red Rocks. And
Yeah. And portals.
yeah, I work in Sedona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some portals, vortexes. There's
It's a
some weird
very
shit over there.
very mysterious place.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some weird shit there.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for eons, man. It's been going on for way too long without any explanation, you know.
Why don't we have explanations for that? I mean, somebody knows what's going on.
I
hate
don't
to turn this to the conspiracy show, but somebody knows what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot that is known, but they're not gonna let us know, man. And that's what's so frustrating, you know, with this whole damn thing.
Yeah, but that's why we have to find out for ourselves.
Yeah. And
Yeah, you're right.
That's why there's all these researchers and all these,
Right.
groups, and it's going to come out. Once enough evidence or people
Enough pressure.
speak up, yeah,
Yeah, enough
it's
pressure.
inevitable.
Pressure on these senators and governors and people in power that need to be there for us. We're the people. This is our government, man. We're supposed to know. And we're only going to be better if we do know.
Sure.
We're going to be better as a whole civilization, man. And you can look back to all these different civilizations that have been wrecked and, destroyed and annihilated. But there's still evidence that there was a civilization there. If we have answers to some of these questions, I think we could be a better race, and this would be a whole better place, the planet Earth. All we have is this rock we sit on, man. That's it.
Yeah, you're
If
right.
you look
Yeah.
at the big picture of things, y'all, we're nothing. but we are glorious at the same time. You have to understand we are a reason to be here. You know, there's a reason for us.
Absolutely.
I
We're
just
the highest intelligence life form on Earth right now that we know of, right?
yeah. Well,
So, Mike, have you had any experiences with Bigfoot at all?
We might not be the smartest though.
No.
yeah, I wouldn't say
We might have the most intelligence, but I don't think we're
Yeah,
the smartest.
maybe
my
you're right.
experience with Bigfoot. I don't even know if it was Bigfoot.
You're
And
covering
I
the
made
camera,
that pretty
Mike.
clear in my little story that I put out, but I can't think of any other thing what it could have been.
Okay.
The intelligence behind the action that I was experiencing and the noises I was experiencing. I heard something walking around our tent. I can't explain if it was people, okay, but there's a lot of, you know, speculation, I guess you could call it. I don't know if it was Bigfoot. I never got to see anything over there. And I was too damn afraid to go over there, to be honest with you. And I just put everything together that it had to have been something unknown that I had never experienced before in the woods. I mean,
Was it a remote location?
it was North Toledo Bend National Park.
Oh, really?
On the western side.
What state are you from?
Well, I was living in San Antonio, and I've been here 8 years now.
Okay.
But my wife and I took a vacation, and we were just ended up there. You know, we didn't plan to go there or anything, but that's where we ended up. And I tell you what, we weren't there but about 6 or 7, 8 hours, and we were gone. And
okay. So what happened, man?
it was just a lot of, just the feeling of being watched was the beginning of it all.
And that's usually what they say.
There was a weird feeling of being watched at first, and then we settled down and made dinner and kind of were kicking back, playing some games. And my dog wouldn't even venture off about 15 feet from us the whole time we were there. Which, you know, a dog wants to roam around and move around and smell the bushes and, you know, sniff squirrel piss, you know.
Yeah, they do. They love it.
But this dog would be like 15, 20, 25 feet away from me and the whole time. And then finally we got into bed, man. We got into the tent and started hearing somebody walking around the tent, man. And I've explained this with Mogian before, and then Kerry read my story that I had written to him. And then after, like, it seemed like about a half hour or so, hearing noises in the bushes and like footfalls, like on the ground, man. That you just, you know what it is, but you don't know what it is. So I'm looking out, man. I'm looking all around the whole campsite and can't see nobody. I don't hear anybody. This was at the end of Labor Day weekend. So a lot of the campsites had been evacuated at that time. And that's why we kind of went at that time of the year, because we wanted to be alone. We wanted to have a nice little, vacation without all the kids and the screaming and the, all the activity, man. We wanted to get away from people. And
Toledo Bend is close to that big thicket that they talk about all the time, right?
I'm not quite sure. I've heard of the big thicket, but I think that's more closer to Houston actually than. I think that's on the Texas side, if I'm not mistaken. But
so you were on the Louisiana side?
Yeah, we were on the Louisiana side, right?
Dude, I know somebody who has a camp over there, and they have some stuff going on over there.
Yes, sir.
For real.
Since I've come out with my story, thank you, Mr. Arnold. I appreciate it because it's just given me a connection with everybody, But since then, I've heard like 3 or 4 stories in the same exact area, and I don't want to throw names out there, but there's several people that you would recognize that it's just validation, man, to me.
It's
You
funny
know what I
because
mean?
every time you would see a new story, you'd email me, goes, more validation, more
There it is.
validation.
There it
Yeah, I
is.
mean, really.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me, but again, like I said, I never saw one. I would just hear them, man, and they would toy with us. They were toying with us like it seemed like on an interval. Like every time we just started to fall asleep, the noise would go again. And they were thrashing the bushes. And like I told Mogion before in my interview with him, man, I thought they were like alligators. I thought they might be birds. I thought they might be squirrels. I thought they might be deer. I thought it might be branches rubbing together. But there was no explanation, man. And that's what I mean. The Bigfoot was the last thing on my mind. I didn't even think about Bigfoot before, not even right away after that incident and that camping trip. I hadn't even seen anything on Bigfoot for years. And it took a while, I would say months, probably about 2 months before we were like, well, what could it be? What could it be? And it just got to the point where we couldn't explain it. So we just said, maybe it was a Bigfoot out there. But again, it's just kind of speculation, but I don't know any other explanation that something's going to bother you for 4 or 5 hours, constantly intervals, man, like every 30, 40 minutes, there they were again. The noise started up again. So we packed up and left. And a matter of fact, I didn't even explain this to Mogion, but we left camp at 2:30 in the morning, and I drove from Louisiana, North Toledo Bend, Louisiana, all the way to Galveston, man. I got as far away out of the woods as I could possibly be, man.
I understand.
And I was wide awake. I had been up for like 30 something hours. And after we got so frightened about it all, I drove like another 250 miles to get out of Dodge, man. And that's and then finally we got there about 7 in the morning. We slept all that day because we were just so exhausted you wouldn't understand. And then we woke up that night and we're like, what are we gonna do? I had paid 5 days at that campsite. And I was gone. I wasn't even there maybe 8 hours, man. I was gone. And that was like, it was so. It was.
Yeah, I blame you.
Well, I couldn't believe that drove all that way over there, and I didn't even last one night, man. It was just, It was unbelievable, man. But the feelings that I got and the feeling of not being wanted was the main thing. The sounds, I was trying to put it off in my mind. Maybe it's, wildlife or birds or whatever it might have been, man. But there was a feeling there. And it's like when you walk into a bar and it ain't your type of people. And
when the sound goes, and everything stops.
Feeling, man.
Everybody just looks at you.
That we had. And it was,
all right.
It's like you don't have to really explain it. You just understand it, man. Nobody has to tell you, hey, you're not wanted here. You just feel it, man. And that's how we felt. Yeah. And my dog, man, his hair was bristled the whole time from the time we got into the tent about 9:30. His hair was bristled, man. And he could sense something, but he didn't bark. He didn't growl. He didn't, yelp or anything.
So he was like kind of being subservient to whatever it was, right? Because dogs really will take on anything except for humans, right?
Well,
and sometimes they will, but if there's some kind of overwhelming presence to a dog, they will be subservient.
I feel that. It was an unknown to them too. To him. And Razor, man, he was a pit lab, but more lab than pit. but he had like a
Okay.
nice big pit head. But he more had like a more of a lab type of structure altogether. But man,
So yeah,
we had
yeah,
trained him, man, because I lived in a bad neighborhood and all this were, I lived in a bad neighborhood. I trained him when I wasn't there, for the times that I wasn't there to protect my wife. And so
mhm,
I'd run into the room and try to pretend like I was attacking her, and he'd run past me and jump on top of the bed and straddle her and defend her. So
yeah,
he wasn't afraid to to defend or to protect
yeah,
us. But the way he acted, man, I've never seen him act like that. And I never really put it all together until later. I started hearing more stories about how the animals react, because at that time the Bigfoot was the last thing on my mind. I didn't think it was Bigfoot when I left. I just was like, there's something over here. I don't know what it is. And it's the feeling, man. The
Time
feeling
to
of
go.
just not being wanted was overwhelming. And that's, no one can ever change my mind about that. I don't care, what all the experts want to say. When you are there and it's happening to you, it's just fight or flight, and that's what we had to do. We had to go. So later, I mean, a couple years later, I started getting back into the Bigfoot subject and started looking at stuff. And that's when I started kind of really putting it together that it must have been something,
okay,
a Bigfoot, or we even thought maybe like the Rougarou or whatever you want to call them, man. We were looking for answers, man, looking for answers, and we just never could get them. There wasn't anything that could explain what's bothering somebody for almost 5 hours
yeah,
on a regular interval. Like as soon as we started falling asleep, they would make a ruckus and noises in the bushes, and that's what would wake us up again. And I'd get out of the tent and I'd look around, and there'd be nobody there. And most of the campsites were like toward the very front of the park entrance, man. Everything was like it was nothing out. We had like the sole campsite at the end, almost at the end of the camping area. And that's what I was always bewildered, like what the hell could have been here, for us.
yeah.
But yeah, I drove 250 something miles all the way to Galveston because that was the end of the woods.
Yeah,
We
that's a
were
long way to go, man.
that was the end. We were going to the water, we were going to the beach.
So Megan has a question. Mogs, can you please put a COPD seminar for all y'all smokers? Also, does Mike Kilpatrick rap with Run DMC with that sweet bling?
Wow.
I don't rap, man. I don't rap. I want Jesus to see me, so he can see me from up there.
Oh hell
Yeah,
yeah, he can.
He sees you.
Absolutely.
I
Oh
hope
yeah, he
so.
sees
Yeah,
you.
I want him to recognize me.
Oh, he
What you
does.
guys, what you guys can't see is on the walls behind Mike, all over his house, are crosses that he made.
Okay.
Yeah, I make crosses.
This cross hanging on the wall here, right here.
Yeah, I make crosses, man, because it grounds me. It brings me back down to it humbles me pretty much. And I'm an artist, and that's what I do. I take stuff out of the garbage and stuff people are throwing away, and I turn it into objects that I gift or sell, or
Mike had
maybe
this
make a
for-
couple dollars on. Thank you, bud. There I go. Yeah.
Oh,
That's part of me, man. It's part of
cool, man.
it keeps me out of trouble.
It's hanging
Yeah.
on
It
the
keeps me
wall.
out of trouble, keeps me on a positive note. And again, after seeing these UFOs and ghosts and having this weird stuff happen in my life, I need something that really, makes me remember and realize, who has my back. And
Yeah.
I'm a follower. Jesus is my Lord and Savior for sure. I'm a sinner. I make mistakes, and
Everybody's
just
a sinner,
like everybody else. But but I try to realize, that he's the one, man. He's the one for me. He's my Lord. So I try to glorify him and in a positive way. You know what I mean?
I armored up before I came on today. I smudged and I said the Lord's Prayer.
There you go. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. It doesn't take much to be, to be a spiritual person. It doesn't take a lot, man. It comes in many forms. You know what I mean? It just whatever's good for you is good for you. But yeah, there's lots of stuff, Ben. I've had a spirit run through me, Ben, and I'm going to tell you, I think the weirdest thing that happened to me, the most spectacular thing, was seeing that huge triangle that I mentioned in the shows with Mogion before. But the creepiest thing, the weirdest feeling I think I've had was when the spirit ran through me and told me to get out of this haunted warehouse I was in, man. I mean, that's, there's no comparison to that. It was
so, Mike, Wonder Woman sending you some roses.
Oh my gosh. You guys hang on 1 second real quick.
Overbuilt sending you some roses.
Oh my God. That's so cool. Hey, I got something for y'all really
This is
quick.
where we're losing.
I got some trends over right now.
Yeah, that's some sweet bling you got though. Oh, some roses.
That's for all the ladies right there. I'm not able to send them, but I got them for all y'all.
Megan says,
funny.
for the love of God, please attach a clock to that chain like Public Enemy. Flavor Flav.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, this is. I want to give these to all the ladies out there. A rose stands for love and passion, man. And I love everybody, and I'm pretty passionate about, well, most of the things I try to get involved with. But yeah, I'm the Texas Rose, man. If y'all don't know already.
Right on.
Yeah, man. One of the most disconcerting things I heard tonight was Livewire, the way his community and the way, the school system reacts to him being a Bigfoot witness. Why is there such stigma still in 2020?
The way he explained it, though, is that the school was accusing him
Of threatening the kids,
of
with the
using-
boogeyman, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they don't realize is the kids saw it themselves. They went to their dad and said, "Hey, this fucking thing's looking in my window."
And it becomes apparent.
But
It becomes apparent.
and when he tried to explain it, they wouldn't listen. So
Yeah.
But it seems like that's very evident. I mean, it seems like it's a very, like a lot of people go through this who have seen paranormal things. I mean,
and it's funny.
paranormal
I've
stuff.
never ever hid like my stories, like not wanted to tell my stories. I fucking tell my stories to anybody who will listen.
Yeah.
I've been telling these stories for 27 years, 28
Right.
years.
Well, that's why I came to
I guess
you,
it
Mo.
depends on the story,
That's why I came to you, Mo, because I ran out of friends to talk to about it, and they were tired of hearing about it, man. And I said, well, I'm going to find somebody that really I can maybe get involved with as a group,
Right on.
and just share and have a similar subject to talk about, man. Because
Sure.
none of the people I've explained my stories to really even had. I mean, there's been a few, but overall, there's not been a whole lot of other people that I could relate to with the things that happened to me, man. And it's hard to find somebody like that, like right there in your neighborhood or right there in your close-knit friend group. So when I reached out to Leon, I was like, maybe this is the answer, and I just felt a connection right off the get-go with him, and that's why I always promoted him, because he's been nothing but a real true gentleman, and that's the person you want to talk to.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he was just A1 to me, man, A1, and that was it, and that's why I continued to talk about all my things that happened to me because I've just felt comfortable with him, and
Yeah.
that's why I guess I'm here today. You know.
So, Mike, with Mogs being a good dude, I think he attracts uh, good people to his chat, and you don't ever have to ever feel any rejection from anybody over here because we are all of we are a community. You know,
Like-minded folks.
absolutely, absolutely. So, dude, I'd love to hear your stories. I would love
I
to.
appreciate that, man. That really that means a lot to me because
Dude, I'm being honest. You know
I
what I mean?
feel you, man. I feel you, and I appreciate you 100, Ben. I really do. And to everybody that's out there, it's important, man, to people.
Yeah,
You
absolutely. To
know,
have support, to
yeah,
have support instead of ridicule, that makes a big difference.
Fuck yeah.
Really
thank,
does. Dude, that's what Mogs' channel has turned into,
yeah.
a community.
I had to step away. I had to step away a little while and
Uh-huh.
maybe regroup and rethink. Um,
Maybe there's different people here now, but right now it's a pretty tight knit community.
Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
yeah, I understand that, man. I had to walk away because I had to regroup and just check myself, man. And
Yeah, but
uh,
Mike, you're new to this. I mean, you're like as far as you're 6 months old with the whole thing. You
right,
know, getting your
right,
story out there and being on YouTube and you know
yeah. I
and thank God. I mean that you were able to
well,
get it
I'm
out
glad.
there.
I'm glad I did, but it was just I
I
had
was
to.
thrilled. I was thrilled when you went back in the woods, man.
That was fun, man. It was scary, but it was fun, man. I
Yeah,
still
man.
haven't even been back yet, man, because of
But
the heat
still, you
here.
you you made that first attempt and
Yeah.
you got out
Well,
there and that's what get back
yeah,
on the horse.
that was crazy, man. It was awesome. And I plan to get back, man, but I just had so much different things going on. It's kind of low on my priority list right now.
Man, life happens, right?
But yeah, I will be back in those woods. And I mean, there's a lot of things that were going on, man, and I started to doubt myself about what I was doing being on YouTube. I mean, like maybe I should have just kept my mouth shut or kept the stories to myself. But
Hey, man, you know what?
Yeah, but that changed you.
Your stories will help somebody else.
Absolutely.
And
maybe.
you're not going to find anybody that's going to say that you are full of shit here.
Thank you, man. Because all I know is the truth. I don't know how to lie.
Exactly,
If I
exactly.
know how to
But
lie, I'm the best. I'm the best writer since Stephen King, man.
I
If
hear you,
anybody
man.
thinks I'm lying, man, because I have an eighth grade education, man.
But it's
I've
that
worked
thing
hard
is
all my life.
it's like I can't make this shit up.
Yeah,
You know,
how could I make this stuff up? I mean, and
Yeah,
what's crazy to me is, like you guys said, I'm not the only one, man. I'm not the
no,
only one that this is happening to,
absolutely
and
not.
that's why,
Not by a long shot, dude. Not by a long shot.
and that's what I realized after being gone. I took a few weeks away because I was on this phone 6 to 8 hours a day
it's
trying
easy to
to.
get caught up, dude.
It was.
Yeah.
It's not so
So
bad.
easy.
My eyes were watering so bad I couldn't even see text. I couldn't see the screen. I thought I needed a new prescription. No, man, I was watching way too much of this dang phone.
I understand
And
that. Yeah.
so I took a little break, from it, and it made me feel so much better when I came back and people were actually glad to see me because that
Yeah.
right
Take
there,
care of Rex.
Dude, I didn't even
Sorry.
know who you were, and I saw that everybody was really glad to see you.
Oh,
man,
everybody loves Mike.
I just thank you, everybody, each and every one of you people that are watching this. Thank you because we have doubt when this stuff happens to us. We have doubt, man, and it takes a
Yeah.
lot, and like it's an emotional. it's an emotional thing to deal with. I mean, a lot of my stuff happened a long time ago, but
Yeah, and you doubt
still,
yourself, and when people doubt you, it multiplies that doubt.
yeah.
So, dude, you know what, dude?
Thank you,
I
man.
mean, I've
Yeah,
seen things
but
before.
that was great that he got those. It was reaffirmed for him by other sightings at the same location. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he got
I mean,
that
I
peace of
haven't heard
mind,
his
and he
stories.
realized he wasn't crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing his stories. But man, I'm in your corner, bro,
Thank you.
and
Thank you
all
so
of
much.
chat is too.
Thank you. Yeah, I realized that 99% of the people that have heard my story pretty much agree with me. I'm not a liar, and I've lived my whole life that way. I tell you what, you can't be a liar and be a boss. You can't be a liar and be a drug dealer. You can't be a liar and live in Texas because they'll whip your ass down here and you start lying. It
Yeah,
just ain't no way, there ain't no way I could get away with lying. And everybody that knows me, I've been telling my story since 1999, but
hmm
I only came to Moog's about 6 months ago. So,
hmm
there's a long time there that, if I was a liar, they would have already figured me out by now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
no, I'm
yeah.
not a liar. It might not match up with your story or your paradigm or your,
No,
you know,
everybody has a different
what
story.
happened to you. But
Everybody has a different story. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And people over here are willing to accept what your story is.
yeah,
And we do have each other's back, for real.
yeah. Well, I thought of this today. It's almost like, is that Bengal orange with black stripes, or is that Bengal black with orange stripes? You can see the same thing, but you might look at it differently, and that's what I mean by that. It's just
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
there's just so many different perspectives, man. There could have been somebody in the tent next to me and never heard nothing. I don't know. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just really
yeah,
hard to explain. We all have our own perspective on it. I was just
absolutely.
trying to
But
share, man. I wasn't trying to prove to anybody. I wasn't trying to, write a paper on it or anything.
yeah, nobody thinks that. I
I was
mean,
just
dude, your
explaining.
reality is your reality.
Yeah,
But the thing is, Mike, is when you kind of caught a little shit, you kind of made it that goal of I'm gonna prove this to them.
I
And
wanted
I
to
had
do.
I had to like talk you off a ledge and say, dude, you don't have to prove shit to anybody.
Dude,
It's not your job.
I
Your
will
job is to
echo
tell
him.
your story. That's it.
Right,
Yeah, I mean, and that's not even your job. You don't have to
But
tell your
no, you don't
story,
have to. But
but
as far
you
as you
don't
don't
have to
have to
prove
prove it.
shit. Yeah,
Exactly.
thank you.
you have
Thank you.
nothing to
Thank
prove
you
to
so much.
anybody.
Just tell your
Thank
story,
you.
and that's
Thank
it.
you
What they
both.
do with
And
it,
thank everybody that understands that, what you're saying, because to me, it was like, I know I'm not a liar, and let me just go ahead and prove this. But then I thought, well, man, is anybody even going to appreciate the work it's going to take for me to prove it? Because it'd be easy for me to prove it. I
No,
want
man,
to take
but
you
it's
right
just
not
back to the spot.
necessary.
your word is good enough. It's really not
Thank you.
necessary to prove anything.
Thank
Nobody
you,
thinks
man.
you're a liar.
Thank you,
And the
man.
whole time I've been on here, I mean, I haven't been on here even as long as you. I've never heard anybody say you are a liar, ever.
Thank you.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think you're a liar. Mogs doesn't think you're a liar.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Because that's
Dude, you
all I
welcome
do.
over here. You're
Yeah, like I
welcome over
said,
here.
I'm not the one, man. I'm just
We
telling
know,
you
we know,
what
we know.
happened. And if you like it, you do. If you don't, that's okay too, man. But
that's
it
it.
almost felt like people were almost like, like I had to be defensive because they were questioning. There was a few comments made, and maybe I read them wrong, or maybe I took it to heart a little much. But I'm over it. I'm over that. That's why I'm back here now, sharing with you guys tonight to be with the people that I want to be with, man. And
Good to
like
have you, man. Good
I
to
feel,
have you.
I feel the love from every one of y'all. I do, and that it's from
I'm
my
glad it worked out
heart,
tonight, dude.
man.
I'm glad we figured out the audio, and it's all good, man.
And it's
Yeah.
beautiful. I guess it might have just been the location where I'm at, y'all. I don't want to
Could have
take
been.
up everybody's time, but it was just good to come on and where people can see me eye to eye and know that this is me, and I'm the one that gives all y'all roses, and I give all the dudes hellos, and there it is. Give me some of that. Look, man, I'm a real as they come, man. I'm as
Yep.
real as it gets, man.
Yeah, man.
And it takes a lot for me to share because I'm really a shy person. All my kinfolk, they're all tripping because I'm here on a YouTube show, and they're like, "What? Mikey's going for it." So yeah, I just
Right on,
appreciate it, man. Everybody, all y'all. There's nothing but love for everybody, man.
Man,
like
I
I
can't wait to hear your stories for real.
Well, I'll tell you what, y'all go back to Mogion's playlist. You go to his channel, and then
Mhm.
you look up videos, and you go to his playlist, and I'm like the second one, I think.
There's like the third, fourth, fifth. I don't know. You're a
Yeah,
bunch of them. There's
I
like
was
3
there at the very
videos.
beginning, man. I
All
think we
right.
had 4 or 5 videos together, it was just a thrill because it just really changed my whole the feeling just to get it off your chest, man. You
Yeah,
got to
man.
get it off. If there's people out there now that need to talk to somebody and have a story, no matter how crazy or stupid or whatever you feel.
No, it's
If you
no.
feel that you want to share, go to Mogion, man. He's the one to do it. He's
Yeah,
the one.
dude, your truth is your truth, you know? Nobody can judge you as being crazy.
Thank
Nobody
you.
can judge you as being anything.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you, man. I've only been in an assailant asylum one time. No, just kidding.
They're still looking for him.
Yeah, no, I'm totally checked out, man. I got a good brain. I'm healthy enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm 51 years old. I'm not getting any younger, but I'll tell you what, I ain't ever been a liar, and I'm never going to be one. So
Right on,
y'all
man.
take me as I am, or move on
Same
down
way.
the road.
I know where that
Megan
goes, man.
says, Mogs, put a damn bandana on that bald head of Mike's.
It's a little shiny. I've been sweating. I've been making chicken fajitas tonight, guacamole, pico de gallo, refried beans, and Mexican rice. That's how we do it down here in South
You
Texas.
don't live in Texas.
That's how we do it down here. Yeah,
Hey,
I was
I'm a
not
border
out at
state
that
too.
grill. I was babysitting. I was grilling. I was dealing with my man's car issues, and my old lady. She's the one that's crazy, man, not me.
Well, a lot of us can say that.
Yeah.
Happy, good night. Great to see you.
Love it.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you,
But
everybody,
yeah,
for
guys,
coming.
we are at 2 hours. Damn, it's 11 o'clock. I got to be up in 6 hours.
Let's go to bed, everybody.
But I want to thank Mike. Thank you so much. I'm glad this worked out. It was great. Ben, as always, thank you.
No problem.
Livewire, thanks for
Thank you,
showing
Ben.
up, Mark. I enjoyed that, and good luck
Good to
tomorrow.
meet you, Mike.
Good to meet you, sir. I really appreciate your friendship. And yeah, you're always there, man. You're right there at A1 on my list too, bro.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you.
I'm just honest. That's all.
Thank you, brother.
That's all we can be.
Yeah. And Mr. Mogion, I love you, bro.
You too,
I
man.
love you. You've changed my life, man. You've changed my life. And I just thank everybody giving you the support for this beautiful place, man.
Thanks.
You're
It
welcome.
is a great
You're
place.
welcome.
So, Mogs, go get you some sleep, man.
Yeah, I'm going to throw you guys down, and I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. I'm gonna put you
Absolutely.
down. If you guys want to hang out. If not,
I'm good, man. Go get you some sleep, bro.
right on, brother.
Go to sleep, brother.
Mike, thank you again, man.
Thank you all, everybody.
All right.
Every one of y'all in the chat, man. I love every one of y'all.
Right
I
on.
hope to see you. I hope to see you real soon too.
You will.
Okay, bud. Take care, brother.
Thanks.
Okay.
You too.
Good night, everybody.
Wow, I think that was a great show. Thanks again, Mark, and Ben and Mike. I got goosebumps, guys. Really, no shit. That was a good show. I want to thank everybody in chat. You guys are awesome. Bell, thank you. I wasn't sure if there was an issue. I just saw, me paying attention or not. But yeah, thanks again, everybody in chat. Hope you had a good time. If you did like the show, please share it, like it, subscribe. If you're new, subscribe. I will be back Tuesday night. Damn, that's so far away. We got to do something about that. I don't know what to do. We'll figure it out. I've been saying it. 2 shows doesn't seem enough, but we'll figure it out. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you in chats, next, day or two. I'll be around. All right, guys. Peace and God bless.